Okay, we're going to start. Thank you all for being here and so promptly. This is our first meeting of our parish confirmation program tonight. One little experiment, little reflection about confirmation for you tonight. So welcome and thank you for coming. Again, I say if you can't see the screens, please move to a space where you will be able to see them. Some of you are probably here last week for the First Communion meeting. And that's great. You have a very busy week, very busy year if you have someone for First Communion confirmation. But it'll be nice. It'll be exciting. Put up hands how many for this is their first child for confirmation in your family. Okay. So the rest have been here before. So, but anyway, it's good to recap and get what's happening. Just want to welcome you on behalf of our behind the pillar, you'll be seeing them out later, is Katrina and Mary Dooley. So they'll be doing very much involved in the parish side of our program. Over here we have our teachers as well, and they're the same teachers as last year. So I think I'll call them our A-team of confirmation teachers because we're really, really special group. But we have Miss McGill here as well, thank you. And then for collection we have Miss and Miss Mannion is here, who's also a parent this year, so she's double jobbing tonight. And then from St. Felix, we have Miss Minnock, Mr. O'Rourke, and Miss Ivory. So welcome. These are our teachers who, you know, do a huge amount of work, and we do appreciate the huge amount of work they do for our parish, for you, for our confirmation children as well. Okay. So just want to start by just asking you parents, welcome parents, just think back for a moment to your child's your child's baptism. And you made a promise that day that you're going to bring your child up in the Christian faith. Ask yourselves, how well have you done? The fact that you're here tonight means you're doing well. How have you done all along? You brought your child to First Penance, First Communion. Now you're presenting your child for confirmation. When your child is going to make an important decision themselves with regard to their faith. How well have you brought them to this stage? Okay, so let's begin by just praying together from the screens our opening prayer. So let's all pray. We bless ourselves in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. We gather this evening together in hope and in faith. Bless all parents and candidates as we journey towards confirmation. Send your Holy Spirit upon us that our words and actions may be filled with wisdom, patience, and encouragement. May this time together strengthen us as a community and draw us all closer to you, to Christ our Lord. Amen. Okay. We put up this next slide from Albert Einstein. Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That's what we feel doing every year. And I suppose talking to other priests in other parishes, probably the most frustrating thing the priests are experiencing is confirmation. Confirmation where lots of work can go into it and we don't get huge results. And yet here we are again, going through the same meetings, the same registrations, the whole lot, the same program again. I'd say we're doing it because a number of reasons. We do it here anyway. Last Saturday night here we had 37 young people who completed the John Paul II Award. They were teenagers who a number of years ago made their confirmation and they got totally involved in the parish. And are receiving an award from the parish last Saturday night and from Bishop Dennis in the cathedral this coming Friday. That sort of makes you think, well, it's worth it for those young people. Last year as well, we had for confirmation, we sort of focus on after confirmation. Now stay involved in your parish. And of about 100 children who made their confirmation, 25 stayed involved, got actively involved. Talk a little bit about that later on. That's why we do it as well, for the sake of those who are going to take it seriously and who are taking it seriously at the moment as well. There's probably some who are here And they probably say, we'll just get it over with. Get us out quick. We're missing matches tonight. We maybe wanted to be other places. And maybe we probably will turn up at confirmation. We mightn't turn up at any of our special masses, but we don't really believe in it. It's not our thing, but we're going to go along with it as well. I ask those people to just take a serious look at why your child is making confirmation. Just take a serious look. This thing is rolling down in my head at the moment, asking people, are you a traitor or are you faithful? So just maybe see, are you faithful to the promises that you have made to your child? And are you faithful to getting really stuck in and preparing your child well for confirmation? I always reminded of a story at this time of our meetings of a country that was persecuted for their faith. If they were caught practicing their faith, they would be arrested. And this particular group were Catholics, and they were in a room, locked up, and they were having a prayer meeting. And suddenly there was a big knock at the door. And the door was forced open by a group of soldiers with guns. And they were all terrified. And eventually the soldier said, if there's anybody not really committed to being a Catholic, they're just lukewarm, you can leave now. And so a good lot of them just hopped out and left. And then the soldier went to the door, and they were all feared that they were all going to be shot because he locked the door again. And then what he did was he put down the gun and he said, I'm Catholic too, and all our soldiers are. We want to have a proper prayer meeting. We're better off without the others. So there's a part of me who's saying, wouldn't we have a wonderful, wonderful church and parish if only those who are really committed and want to get involved and come to Mass every Sunday, wouldn't we have a fantastic church and an atmosphere and prayer and faith? That's one side of me. The other side of me is, though, everybody's welcome. Even if you're lukewarm, maybe there's sometimes you do need God, and maybe you'll come back, and maybe seeds are being sown, and maybe down the line, maybe faith and God will become important to you as well. So whatever stage you're at, you're welcome. Is that okay? We just would like to acknowledge that. So confirmation is a choice. You don't have to make confirmation. Your child don't. You can postpone it, as some do, until later life. Last year I had a lovely few experiences of teenagers who came back to me and said, I didn't make it with my class, but I'd like to make it now because I feel I'm ready and better prepared to make it now. We live in an Ireland at the moment, you know, that more and more people are not taking part in church sacraments. For instance, last year, only 38% of weddings in Ireland took place in a church setting. And that's all church settings, not just Catholics. 38%, that's all. More and more now we see funerals going straight to the funeral home and going straight to be buried or going through cremation services or whatever, are not going to church at all. People are now making more and more choice. More and more people are saying, maybe I'm not getting my child baptized, I'll wait till later as well. So we are living in a multi-religious religion country, multi maybe cultural or whatever. And there is more and more choice out there as well. So don't feel bad if your child decides they don't want to make it. Because I remember a few times the people said to me, oh, the child said, I'm not making confirmation. And the parent said, you are making it. So make sure you discuss it maturely as a child, as a parent, and ask yourselves, is it something I really want to make in my life at the moment? Okay. And we'll talk a little bit about it. What does it mean to be confirmed and all of that? And again, just remember, you know, our church has got such bad press right across the board. In fact, I think it's leveled off a bit now, and I think it's beginning to come back a bit because we're seeing a bit more and more programs of positivity that's happening in the church at the moment as well. Reading an article recently when it was in England, but it said there was an increase of 38% of young people between 18 and 24 returning to the church. So people are beginning to think, you know, out there, maybe, you know, there was a lot of things happened in the church, but maybe we look back and see, maybe we do need God. We do need our church. We do need faith in a life that can be sort of pretty much upside down for a lot of people at the moment. Religion can maybe help people's mindfulness, mental health, and reconnecting with church and ministry and getting involved can actually help people through the routine of the daily lives and the weeks ahead. So focus on the church as it should be, and that's what we really try to do in our lives and in our church and our parish. So we ask ourselves, what does it mean to be confirmed? I've been in all these confirmation classes, and I've talked to them about that, and they came up with great answers, which I was so thrilled to see as well. So when you're confirmed, just a few things, you become a true follower of Jesus. Okay. Secondly, you become a full member of the Christian community. Okay. So you become a true follower of Jesus, you become a full member of the Christian community. What is the Christian community? We strive in this parish to model ourselves on the early Christian communities. So just listen to Mary reading the scripture piece from the Acts of the Apostles, and then we'll focus a little bit about it.
The whole community remained faithful to the teaching of Jesus, to praying and celebrating Mass together. The Christian community all lived together and they shared everything in common. They sold their goods and possessions and then shared out the proceeds with everyone according to which everyone needed. They always went as a community to church where they celebrated Mass. They shared their food gladly and generously. They praised God and so were looked up to by everyone.
Thanks, Mary. The early Christians were looked up to by everybody. Are we as a Christian community looked up to by everybody? If we are a confirmed Christian or a baptized Christian, does it really make a difference in our lives and in the lives that we lead in the community? Does people look at it and say they are Christians? What did the early Christians, how did they make such a big impression on people? 3 things that we always try to focus on. They were a community who came together to pray. Secondly, they celebrated Mass because that's what Jesus asked them to do at the Last Supper. And thirdly, they helped and cared for one another. So pray. So we say, Jesus went up often into the hills to pray by himself. Scripture is full of examples of Jesus going to pray. We'll talk about this more a bit later, how you can help your child to pray. Praying is important. Growing up, we always prayed the rosary as a family. We always never sat down to have a meal without saying grace. We always had night prayer, morning prayer. The children has it in their classrooms. They will have prayer. So praying is very much part of us. Celebrating Mass together. That's so important. Jesus himself, again, we're looking to because we're followers of Jesus, so we must get to know Jesus. So Jesus himself, he went to Nazareth where he had been brought up, and on the Sabbath he went as usual to the synagogue. As usual. That's so important. It's underlined there because Jesus himself on the Sabbath went to join the community in prayer. That was part of Jesus' life and his daily, weekly routine. And then, thirdly, Jesus said at the Last Supper, do this in memory of me. And so he invites us to celebrate Mass. It's part of who we are as Christians. Jesus made it very clear at the Last Supper, this is how I want my followers to worship me. Because at the Mass, the bread and wine becomes the body and blood of Jesus. So he makes it very, very clear. We know ever since Catholics, Christians gather to celebrate Mass on the weekend. Even during penal times, even during persecution times, during famine times, people always gathered to celebrate Mass. It's very interesting, sometimes when there was maybe a big natural disaster like earthquakes and things, the first thing that people used to always rebuild was their churches so that they can come together to pray as a community. Never forget that. Thirdly, what does Christians do? And this is what makes them really maybe being looked up to. They looked out and cared for one another. Because Jesus says, I was hungry and you gave me food to eat. Helping others, again, is what we as Christians are about. We pray, we celebrate Mass together, and we help one another. Just a little bit then about the person of Jesus, who are our followers. Who is he? What do we know about Jesus? What did he stand for? Why do you want to be his follower? Just ask yourself, boys and girls, why do you want to be a follower of this Jesus? Where do we find out about Jesus? We find out about him in the 4 Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. These are 4 accounts of the life of Jesus. What's the difference between them? Well, there's just a difference in style. It's like if you go to a match and you want to read a paper the next morning, you pick up 4 different newspapers. They'll all have the same account of the match, but they're written differently. That's the only difference. We find out about Jesus in the 4 Gospels. Some of the things we find out about him: he is understanding, courageous, he's merciful, forgiving, caring, loving. He's a peacemaker, he's gentle, he's compassionate, to name just a few. These are the things that Jesus stands for and he wants his followers to do. Okay? So how do we, as a parish, then reach out to help others? We do pray, we do have Mass, but how do we as a parish, as a Christian community? Well, in our parish outreach, just to name a few again, the Parish Evergreens, these are our elderly. Last week they went on a lovely day trip. Our Evergreens, we call them our Evergreens because they are evergreens, but they are our senior citizens. We look after them and care for them. Our St. Vincent de Paul, a group of people in the parish who reach out to those on the margins on our behalf. And we support them through our collections and through every other way we can as well. The SVB, the St. Vincent de Paul. We have La Nua. That is an employment scheme that we as a parish reach out to. There are people who are reformed drug addicts who want to get back into work placements, and they come here and they are trained in the different jobs, different employments that they can go back into the employment. Nobody would take them on, but we said we are going to take them on because that's what we're about. We're about reaching out and helping people. St. Feek's House, over there is a home for the elderly. They do Meals on Wheels to the elderly. They do daycare. That's a parish-run service. We have the St. Clair's Hospitality Food Kitchen, who feeds about 120 to 140 people every day, give out food parcels. The young people know all about that because they help in so many different ways, particularly with the hampers at Christmas. Legion of Mary is a visitation group that goes out and visited people, old people in their homes, sick people in hospital or whatever. So we as a parish are striving to live according to the early Christians, which is the message of Jesus himself. Okay. Hope that's not too boring so far. I'm going to hand over to Mary now, because Mary's going to talk a little bit about how we can help others.
Thanks, Father. So, my name is Mary, so I'll be here on the Sunday when you come for your special preparation Mass for confirmation, along with Katrina and Father Dunphy. And our role is to make this a special year for you. This is your confirmation. This is the time when you make the promise yourself. So the first time you came up here, you had your godparents bring you up as a baby, and they made the promise for you. And now you're going to stand up yourself and make that promise. And that's a big day for everyone, and especially your godparents, because they'll be there and they'll have their hand on your shoulder, and they'll be so proud that now you'll be able to make those promises yourself. And so will your mum and dad. So how can you help others? So you're saying, Father was telling us all about the parish and about all the millions of things that go on. But what can you do to help others? So you could help around the house. That would be a great help to your parents. I see a couple of little laughs there now. What could you do? You could make the bed. You could clean the shed. Maybe tidy up all your toys if you've left a load of stuff around. Help in the morning. Maybe get your lunch or your uniform ready. And just try and be a little bit adult this year, because you're going into adulthood now and you're going into secondary school. So you're going to have a bit more responsibility. So how would you help in the community then? What could you do in the community? Well, we're involved in loads of clubs, and we could help out if there was maybe a sponsor walk, or if there was something that needed to be tidied up in the clubhouse, or if you wanted to do steward, if there was something going on, just put up your hand and say, yes, I'm making my confirmation this year and I'm going to help out in my community. How else would I help out? What about people who are less fortunate than us? So lots of people don't have as much as we have. So how could we help others? Well, at the end, you will be talking about ways maybe to give a little small piece of your confirmation money to a charity that you decide yourself. So that could be something. But anything that you see that you can help, try and do it this year as part of your preparation for your confirmation. Now, if you look up there, we have a triangle, and everybody knows in maths that a triangle has 3 equal angles, don't they? So if we look at that, the 3 parts of that are home, most important, school, supporting what goes on in the home, and in the parish, our job then is to support what goes on in the school and in the home. So just looking at the triangle, if the 3 pieces don't work, well, then it's a little bit imbalanced, and you might not be supporting what is going on in school, at home, and we as a parish might not be supporting ye. So that's where we're all working for this special year, so that when it comes to your confirmation day, it is going to be the best confirmation day ever. So, first of all, our school, most important. So in school, the teachers carry out a huge amount of the sacramental preparation, and that started already. The teachers will complete the school elements of the programme and send materials or completed activities home to be put in the family prayer space. What's the family prayer space? Do you remember that from your Holy Communion? When you had your baptismal candle, the holy medals, your little communion things that you might have got? Well, now you're going to be adding to this for your confirmation. So, the prayer space doesn't have to be a fancy thing. It can be a windowsill, it can be a little round table underneath the stairs, it can be anything that just acknowledges that this is a special year and these are the things that matter to you this year. And you see examples of some of the prayer spaces there. Now, there's your books that you use in school, and the teachers will be using these books as you go through the year as just a scaffolding for preparing you for your confirmation. Also, the children will be watching morning Mass online and attending Mass where possible. So that's one of the great advantages of technology. We can tune in and get Mass here online. Then what can we do at home? Again, as parents, what you do in the home is what's copied by the children. So you know yourself, we could be preaching forever. Don't do this, don't do that. But what they see us doing is what the children see. So if you're comfortable with your faith, and if you're comfortable using a little bit of holy water to bless yourself, or say a prayer, or talk about God, well, then the children will be as well. And it doesn't seem as foreign to them. Listen to what they learn in school. Answer their questions. We might not be able to answer them all, but we always have Father Dunphy to ask, because we all know Father Dunphy knows everything. You could pray with your child at home. Little prayers maybe that they need to learn for their confirmation, maybe just a little revision of their communion prayers. But if you say them with them and they become familiar, it makes life so much easier. Again, there's examples of our lovely sacred spaces in the home. So what can we do as a parish? This is our role, where we have to come in and try and support you and support the wonderful teachers we have in our schools that we are truly blessed to have. So, Holy Cross Mass, 10:15, St. Clare's Church, 11:30. Now, there's a family Mass every Sunday, but the 3rd Sunday of each month is going to be your special Sunday. That will be the day where you will be the focus, where Father will call you up during the Mass, where you'll meet your friends and all here, and where you will also get a little present or a little gift, and that will go into your sacred space. So at this Mass, each month, confirmation candidates will receive a special gift. Confirmation parents, volunteers, this is really, really important. It's when the parents show that they're on side as well. So at the end, there's a little list on each desk, and if you feel you could help, it would be really, really great. Parents then form their own little group, and Katrina sets them up in a group text so everybody knows what's going on. But it's great to be part because A, you know what's going on firsthand, and B, you're showing your child that this is an important year for him or her and that you're supporting them all along. And it's great because parents keep in touch then, and it's a great community. And also, if you're new to the parish, it's a wonderful way to get to know other parents as well. So what will you do then in this group? Well, every Sunday you will organise 4 young people to carry up the offertory at each monthly Mass. So we try and make sure that everybody gets a turn to bring up the offertory because it is your special year and we want to make sure that everybody feels part of it. Also, the gifts then at the end, when the children are getting their special gift each Sunday, the parents will come up and they will help distribute them with the teachers who are here as well on the day. And as I said, there's a little notice on the end of each of your teachers' tables when you come up. So parents, that's your chance to put your name down, to sign up, and to show your child that this is an important year and that you're there to support them all along. So, Father's going to talk about the sacramental pack now.
Thanks, Mary. Just really to emphasise that it's a lovely way for parents to really get stuck in to help with the programme or to follow your child's progress by helping with the programme to run it. So please, if you can, give your names there. When you come up to your teacher in a few moments to the tables, we'll assign you in a moment, you're going to get a little confirmation pack as well as the registration form. In it, you're going to get just a little sheet about what the young people might be able to do between now and their confirmation. Okay, so there's a few little things they can do. They can become an altar server. And I really encourage you, we have some lovely altar servers already in 6th class in both schools. But if they'd like to become an altar server, it's a lovely, lovely way of getting stuck in and getting involved in church and in the Mass. So encourage your child, maybe. Secondly, to join the youth choir. Straight away, we can ask you to join the youth choir. It practices there every Thursday from 6 to 7 in the parish centre. So encourage your child to play an instrument or can sing. We had a lovely school mass from St. Felix today. We have it in Collection tomorrow. The choirs are amazing. So loads and loads of lovely singers. Encourage them. It's a lovely way of participating in the Mass. Just to highlight, at Sunday school is back. It's not for these young people, these children. It's for any small siblings from junior infants up to 1st or 2nd class. If you have any of them in your family, you want to come to this Mass, send them into Sunday school. It's a lovely way to get rid of them, but to enjoy your Mass yourself and have a little bit of peace for a few hours. They do great work to go inside with our adult leaders and young teenagers, and they do and learn all about Jesus in their own special language. They actually love it as well. In it as well, you have your confirmation pledge, a little note about that. We're giving it to you now because it will be celebrated later on, which we'll talk about afterwards. But pledge is very much a part of the confirmation year. Start thinking about it, how to make a pledge. What does a pledge mean? The teachers will be ramming it into them as well. And then just talk about the dangers of drink and drugs. And keep emphasizing that when it comes to the pledge, they're ready to make a genuine commitment and a pledge. There's little prayers there for your sacred space as well that we give you. They're not the same as the First Communion ones. They're a little bit more mature ones for the confirmation children. Please take that home, put it in the sacred space. Pray as a family these prayers. We also send our parish calendar. That's in it for all the things we're happening in our parish month by month. And again, we ask you to take one of them so that you can follow along the important things that are happening in the parish. For instance, not this Sunday, Sunday week, it's the 5th of October, we're going to have the blessing of the pets at 3 o'clock that day. So things like that you may not know is happening, they're all going to be on that calendar, and it'll help you to maybe follow along what we're doing as well. Also there you're going to have, but we also have your own confirmation. Did I say that, Jessica? Your confirmation program is also going to be in it. Each one will get their confirmation program date by date, day and date, everything, month by month. What is your special masses, your next meetings, and the special ceremonies that are taking place as well. So put that up with the parish calendar. This is your confirmation program calendar, and each school will be different in that. We also have a brown envelope, you'll be glad to know, in it. And the little brown envelope is something if you want to. It does cost us a huge amount of money. As you can see already, all the stuff we have up here in the front and all the work we put into it. If you want to give a donation towards the running of the program, you don't have to. We never charge in this parish, but it does cost over 200,000 euros a year to run between our churches and our buildings, our wages, and all of the different things that you know yourself in running a house, electricity and oil and heat and insurance, all of the things you need. So, and particularly though the amount of money we do spend on programs, which are special gifts that you get each month and all of that. We never ask for money, but we survive, and people are very generous to us. We can keep our program and our parish alive and active and vibrant because of the generosity of people. So if you would like to give a donation, you can put it in any Sunday you come along. We'll be grateful for it. If you don't, that's fine too. We will not be knocking you up or anything. Some of the parishes do charge for their programs. We said we're not going down that road. We don't want to charge. We have never charged. So if you'd like to donate, we'll appreciate it, and you'll be more than welcome. Okay? I'm going to move on then to my next bit. That's that. Hate the old money bit. But anyway, we just said if you'd like to. Just your first Mass. So Mary had already said it's the third Sunday of each month. And it's up to February. And that's it. So there's October, November, December, January, February. There's only 5 Sundays of your special Mass. I will encourage you again to try and come more often than that. But please do come on the third Sunday of each month. That's especially sort of directed towards the confirmation children and their families. And again, it's sort of disappointing at times to see less than half turn up. That's just at the special Masses. Now, we're disappointed if not more don't turn up at the ordinary Sunday Mass. But imagine how disappointed we are if over half don't even bother turning up on the special Mass. And I know you're away and there's different things happening, and that's fine. But again, just to encourage you, by the fact that the children can't come on their own, so they do need you to bring them. And if you decide not to bring them, what's that telling the children? It's telling them, well, this is not important. So it is important. So make sure by your own actions you do that. Tonight you'll be given a red card like this. Not 2 yellows now, a red. And this red card is having a number of things on it that we want each child to take home and sign it with their parents and with their guardian's signature of the candidate. And they're going to make a commitment, and they will be blessed on the first Sunday, that's the 19th of October. And what it says basically is, before I am confirmed, I will prepare myself by praying every day, attending my confirmation program Masses, trying my best to go to Mass every weekend, helping around my home and the parish community, and helping those less fortunate than themselves. So this is what the children are going to commit themselves to in preparing for confirmation. And hopefully there won't be just empty promises, but they will make a genuine effort. So take one of those from your teacher when you come up and take it home and sign it. Bring it back to that special Mass. They'll be invited to come forward. They will be blessed, and then you're taking it home then to your sacred space. Okay? So our youth minute just coming up soon. Bishop Dennis comes every year. Sometimes Bishop Dennis can't make our confirmation ceremonies, so that's fine. He comes if he's free. If he can't, he can't. He tries to come every second year, to Greg one year and to Ganesh next year, whatever. But anyway, it's up to him. But if he doesn't anyway get to come to you, he will come every year and give a special blessing to those who made their confirmation earlier in the year. So he will be covered on the 26th of October at 7 p.m. And he will be given a special blessing to those 25 or so whom last year made their confirmation and are now committed to being confirmed and taking part in the community. So he does that. So that to me is more important ceremony than actually confirmation. Because you can get the oil on confirmation day and that's it. But this is real confirmation because these young people have made a commitment. It'll be for you next year as well. So just highlight a few of the important ceremonies. Ceremonies of pledge and giving, which is going to take place before confirmation, and it's on St. Clair's, the 11th of February, and Holy Cross, I did the other way around, Tuesday, 10th of February in Holy Cross, Wednesday, the 11th of February in St. Clair's here at 7 p.m. The children will make their pledge. We'll do an awful lot of work with them. Their teachers will do an awful lot of work with them coming up to these ceremonies as well, and they'll make their pledge. Just want to highlight as well, I mentioned in 2 churches, we also have people here who are not from either schools but are making their confirmation with us. You're very welcome as well. I also should have acknowledged those who are joining us on the webcam, just can't make it tonight, but they're linking in so that they can watch. And this is being recorded for people who can't make it as well. Okay? So that's the pledge. What else? And the confirmation ceremony. Yet the ceremony of light just to be a separate ceremony. Since COVID, we introduced it as part of the ceremony itself. And it was so lovely that we decided we will keep it. Confirmation ceremonies don't have the Eucharist, don't have Mass, but it does have the ceremony of light as part of our confirmation ceremony. It's a lovely ceremony, and we will include it in that. And the dates then, I think, is all I have to say. Saturday, the 28th of February here in St. Clair's. Now, depends on how many registers. We'd want to sort of not make it too packed. If St. Clair's is too packed, we may have to go to 2 ceremonies. We won't make that decision until we see how many signs up for. Because maybe some after tonight people say, I'm not signing up for that, and that's fine too. So we want to see how many signs up. If there's 1 ceremony, it'll be 11 o'clock that day. If there's 2, it'll be 10:30 and 12:30. Okay? Can't tell you any more than that at the moment, because we don't know until who signs up. And then in Holy Cross, there will be definitely 2 ceremonies. One at 10:30 with Miss Mannion, and 12:30 with Miss Cooney. Is that right? That's decided. Okay, so there are the 2 ceremonies, and you've got the dates now, even though they were given out a number of weeks ago as well. Okay, is that everything? I have to say, just one more little thing is, after the confirmation, the children will become the GK juniors, because we have sort of stages in our parish, and we'll be all getting the welcome booklet soon. And in that welcome booklet, or our parish booklet, is a highlight of our youth ministry. There's GK kids, and then there's GK juniors, GK seniors, and GK young adults. So that's the way we work up anyway. Katrina knows more about that. I'll ask her to talk to you about. Just put up that there. Confirmation is a gift. A gift. Like any gift, if you don't use it, if you don't open that box and see what's inside and use it, it's not of much value. So see confirmation as a gift that you're going to use, and that you're going to make sure you sort of live what that gift is important, to what it means. Is that okay? And just the last thing I'm going to say is, we had a lovely young person here a number of years ago called Heather Cowan. Just before her confirmation, she died of leukemia. Heather was one of those special young people who was involved in everything. She was in our altar server. She was in our children's choir. She used to act Mary in our little pageants for Easter and Christmas, and so helpful in every single thing we did. And she never was confirmed. But for me, she was more confirmed than anybody, because she lived the confirmation. She got that gift at baptism, and she used it, and she lived it, and she became a very special person. So aim to be somebody like Heather. Okay, thank you. So Katrina, I'm going to hand over to you now.
Hi everyone, I'm Katrina, for those of you that don't know me, and I work here in the parish full time, and my main area, I suppose, is to look after our young people as best I can. But I don't do it alone. I work on the youth ministry team. There's about 8 of us in total, and they've all been where you are. They've all come through confirmation, well, long before that, but confirmation at the very least. And then they joined our GK juniors, and they graduated up to our seniors, and then became young adults, and then we asked them to help out, to help us recruit more and help us make our youth ministry as vibrant as it is today. So that's how it happened. And in a few years' time, you could be on our team as well. But to get there, there's a few little steps along the way. And when you join our GK juniors, what we really are talking about, what's our focus, I suppose, is these 4 F's. All right, so it's all obviously it's about your faith, because we know you because of your confirmation, and those who decide to stay involved, because there's no pressure, you don't have to, but you're very welcome to. Those who decide to stay involved, your faith is obviously important to you. We feed you a lot of food. There's a load of food, whether it's tea and biscuits in the kitchen on loop. God, every day we're cleared out of those. When you come down after school and you help us with various things, or when you're in for your reading course, or for your Eucharistic minister training course, or after youth choir, or before children's choir, whatever it is, we need food. And we do fundraisers during the year. There's another F. But our older members would help with that, so that our younger members can eat well and have loads and loads of fun. It's really important to us. Not just here in the parish centre, but we go on trips and day trips and stuff like that as well. Just to reward you for everything that I'm going to show you now, all the different ministries that you can get involved in. And the good thing about you're going to secondary school soon. It's a great way to stay in contact with your friends. And you're involved right from straight after the confirmation. So you're involved with young people from other schools who you might end up being friends with in your new school, but you're staying friends with your old friends as well who might have gone to a different school. So it's a great way to keep the connection together. But long before you leave school, you find this new place, the parish, where you have something to connect you all and unite you all that isn't to do with your school. It's to do with your home here in the parish. So it's a lovely way to keep in touch with all your friends and to make lots of new ones. So you could continue as an altar server. We'll obviously talk to you much later. In March we'll come and talk to you all and check in with you again. But just so you know, this is what you're trying to strive for. You could continue as an altar server. You could begin as an altar server. You can do it in 4th, 5th, 6th class, 1st, 2nd, 3rd year. We go right up to 3rd year. And that's the thing about our serving here. They love it so much they don't really leave. So we're obviously doing something right. Then also you have reading. So in your first year, you would just read the prayers of the faithful. So they're the short prayers where we go, Lord, hear us at the end. You know those? And I know lots of you looking around have done that already here in your school masses and out in Holy Cross as well. So we have some great readers here. So if you'd like to do that, we'll of course give you a training course. We have that in September. So this time next year, you'll be doing your training course. But we'll let you try it out after your confirmation to see if you like it or not as well. So there's something else you could do. Become a steward. We needed them tonight. We needed a bit of a welcome at the doors tonight, and I couldn't get any of them in. But just standing on the doors, 3 here, and we also have 2 out in the Holy Cross and Collection. Just good morning, good evening, lovely to see you. Can I help you with that? Opening the door, making life easy for people with buggies, wheelchairs, walkers, walking sticks. Just having a lovely welcome and making sure people know we're delighted they're here. And making you feel like you have a purpose too. And a sense of responsibility makes us feel good. So that's a very simple ministry, but a really special one. And it's one that we got since COVID, and we're delighted that we got to hang on to it. Running the slides. That's my baby, if you like. I'm always on that. I'm always on that computer. And I'm only delighted to show you how it's done. It's very simple, but it's very important. We've never had a Mass yet, since it began many years ago, that no one has turned up to do it. We've had lots of technical difficulties, but that's not your fault. But you're never on your own. You can do it with your friend, and you can do it. You'll be trained in by me and someone younger than me and older than you, who have come up through the ranks as well, and now they know how to do it, and they're pros, and they want to help you become a pro as well. But I'm also looking around and seeing that some of you have also done it at school masses, so there are some great candidates for it. So we will show you how to do everything. You do it with your friend over here. But then if you're technically minded but you go to Mass in Collection, Facebook Live could be a really good one for you. And we have loads from our last year's 6th class that joined up for Facebook Live this year. And they broadcast the Mass out to everybody in Collection. And you don't have to be from Great Cullen to do it, or Collection. If you like to do it and that Mass time suits you, 10:15 on a Sunday, we'd love to have you out there. And you do it upstairs, nice and high, through a phone, and you bring Mass to everyone. And we're so grateful to you for doing that. So there's always 2 people doing that every week. Again, someone who's used to doing it, and then you, the newbie, who'll be shown exactly how to do it. And, click on. And then, yes, they're all ministries, and they're all day-to-day things that happen every single week. And you go on a rota for all these things. You don't have to do them every single week, but we could find something for you every single week. But as a reward then, we ask you, would you like to come on our youth retreat day? And we do them at midterm break, and we will be inviting you along to that as well. Because to give you a bit of a taste of what it's like to be part of the GK Juniors, we'll invite you along to the one in October. And it's just a day where we have some fun. You're with people from all different schools, but they're all your age, and what you have in common is this parish. Okay? Whether you're from here or not, you go to Mass here, or you like what we're about and you want to be part of it. And that was out in Knockbeg last October. We went in and visited the Port Clares as well. We have all kinds of ideas of different things that we do every single time, and they're just extra treats that we do. Once you get involved, we get to treat you. That's what it's all about. The friendship, fun, faith, loads of food, and it's all free because of our fundraising. All right, so that's our youth ministry, that's our GK Juniors. And then when we get to our youth ministry Mass next year, you'll be standing here at the foot of the altar, and you'll be getting your special blessing from Bishop Dennis, who will say to you, well done for being confirmed, but for putting it into action and actually living out your faith and becoming involved in your parish. So that's what you have to strive for. Choosing some of those ministries, becoming part of the team here, and then standing up and getting your blessing from Bishop Dennis here next year. So you'll get to see all that on the 26th when you come. And how does that happen? I suppose we have to register you. If you're still on board, if you're like, okay, we can do this. I think I'm willing to allow my child to do this. I think I'm willing to allow my parent to let me. Whatever is going through your head now, I hope it's positive. Hope you're not going to run for the hills. But if you're willing to stay and you're happy to register your child for confirmation, we're going to hand you out some forms and some pens. And in a moment, I will talk you through the form, okay? But I'm just going to have a quick glance through it before, because I know I'll lose your attention as soon as you get a page and a pen. So, first thing is primary school. If you have a primary school, please stick that up there, please. Teacher's name as well, so we can differentiate. And at the end of the meeting, when you fill this form, it will come up to your child's teacher. Okay, the name, you'll see their face, hopefully, and their name is on the end of the table as well. You'll bring that completed form up to them, and they'll look after it, and we'll get you registered, okay? But, as I said, primary school and teacher's name, first name and surname of your child, and then if your child did not make their first Holy Communion in our parish, so if you came to St. Felix or Holy Cross after First Communion, so after second class, then that's no problem, but we just need to check that they were baptised, and the way we do that is we ask for the baptismal cert. So you can give us a copy of it, or you can send us a photo by email or WhatsApp, or you can show the teacher and they'll send it to me, okay? It doesn't have to be done tonight, don't worry. But if you have it, great, and we'll get it all done and out of the way. Or my child actually has yet to be baptised, but you want to have them confirmed, but we need to do the other sacraments first. Just tick those boxes if it's either baptism, First Holy Communion, or both, and we'll make those arrangements. That tells us we need to make contact with you and help you out to make that your journey to confirmation that bit easier. And then on the back, your contact details. We do need at least one parent in a WhatsApp group. I know it's the bane of your life. There's about 50 of them on my phone. I love every one of them, more than the next, I really do. But it is important, it's a means to an end, and we couldn't have a vibrant parish without WhatsApp, I'll tell you that. So please, one parent at least. If there's two houses, by all means, tick both of us, and you have, we'll put you both into it. That's absolutely perfect, as long as your child is represented. So we can't hear this back where people say, oh, we didn't know. Well, there's no way you couldn't have known, because it was in the WhatsApp group the same as everyone else. And we do check to make sure messages are delivering and people have seen messages as well. We do check that, and we can have problems here and there. But all we can do is our best. And this is the best way we know to get in contact with you for different things and send you reminders about different things as well. And you'll be very grateful for it when it comes up to the ceremonies, all right? And the last then is just your declaration. All your GDPR, our safeguarding and all the rest is all there. Please do read it. You have time, okay? The rest of the stuff you'll have on the top of your head. Please do read that, and then you'll sign it. One or two parents here tonight. You don't have to bring it home and have the other parent sign it. It's just representation here tonight. It's absolutely fine. Is that okay? So we're going to hand those out now. But just so you know, we really do take this seriously, because we do have a deadline for registrations, and that is Friday the 17th of October. That's the Friday before your child's first programme Mass. Why would we take anyone on after that? They've missed the first programme, the Mass of the programme, and it is that important. As Father John said, you only have 5 special Masses. Yes, we have Mass every week, and we have our meetings. We'll have 2 more. But if you miss that first Mass, there is no point in you coming on board. You've missed this meeting and you've missed the first Mass, and you've all put in the effort. So spread the word for anyone who isn't here. They will not be allowed on the programme after that date. So thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for putting in the time to fill out that form, and thanks to our teachers for processing it all for us at the end. So if you wouldn't mind, teachers, and Miss McGill and Mary and Father John are going to hand out pens and papers. Get writing as quick as you get it, and we'll have lots of time, don't worry.
Sorry, don't come up yet with the forms. Just we'll get everyone get it filled in first, and then we'll invite you to come up. Is that okay? No, it's okay. We just want to finish up before we go. We'll just finish with a prayer when everyone is signed up. Shows about the good response tonight because we got run out of pens. We thought we had loads. So if you have any pens left over, can you just pass them over to people who may not have got one? Sure they can.
They were the last group that didn't have pens.
So they can. We can just say the final prayer and let them come up. Yeah, because they can fill them in. Yeah. Okay, guys, we are finishing up, even though you're finishing on the forms, but that's fine because I'm conscious that we're running on a bit. Can I acknowledge and thank you for being here with us tonight again? Thank you. Thanks to our teachers, to our parish team, to Miss McGill, and all who help in any way. So we're just going to finish with our final prayer, and then you can make your way up when you have your form filled to whichever teacher. Collect your pack, collect your certificate, and parents, write your name if you want to get involved in the parish program as a parent helper. So we begin again then, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. This is a prayer that we try to teach the children, the prayer of St. Francis. So let's all pray together. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there's hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved